Hello to our sporty family. Welcome to another episode. And remember, this episode is brought to you by playmaster.co.ke. Always remember you can use our USSD code that's star 265 hash and I'm Mutie. Let's get into the 2026 Safari Rally that will be held in Kenya. The Safari Rally is part of the Global World Rally Championship, one of the most demanding motorsports competitions in the world. Each season features multiple rallies across different terrains from snow to gravel, but Kenya Safari Rally is known as the ultimate test of endurance. The 2026 Safari Rally Kenya takes place from the March 12th to March 15th. Drivers will tackle 20 brutal stages across rugged gravel roads around Naivasha in Kenya's Great Rift Valley. With a refined schedule that packs 20 special stages, let me take you down through the stages that will be taking part. The shakedown will be happening at Nawisa. This is a brand new stage located across the road from the rally service park in Naivasha. The shakedown will be happening at Nawisa. This is a brand new stage located across the road from the rally service park in Naivasha. The new shakedown first climbs uphill on a medium wide road which is bumpy and sandy. At 1.47 kilometer, the stage enters a quarry with a rocky backdrop reminiscent of Saudi Arabia. After exiting the quarry, the road becomes rougher on a very narrow and bumpy section at 2.35 kilometers before counting on the wider road after the junction. The rest of the stage varies its roughness, with some faster sections as it heads downhill. The next stage is Camp Moran. Camp Moran is a new stage for 2025 and uses sections previously run as part of the Sleeping Warrior test. It has been shortened for this year. It's a very rough and technical stage with a section of 11 to 21 kilometers, exceptionally rock, featuring constant elevation changes, dips and bumps throughout. The next stage is Mzabibu. The stage is located in the Moredant Farm Vineyards with its first 4.3 kilometers run mostly on a narrow and technical trails passing next to short trees and bushes. This is followed by high-speed section on a very narrow road with grass growing down the middle before a rough, slower section begins at 5.9 kilometers. The end of the stage runs on more grass-limited roads which are quite rough in special places and features a new finish. Just to remind you that this video is brought to you by playmaster.co.ke and I want to give you a summary of the Playmaster Lucky Wheel. You deposit 555 shillings or more on Playmaster. Every qualifying deposit gives you one spin on the lucky wheel. Spin the wheel for a chance to win instant, real cash rewards. Each new deposit of 555 shillings or more gives you another spin and another chance to win. The next stage is Loldia. Loldia was said to feature a new rough section which was ultimately removed before the start of the rally. The stage is therefore run in the same configuration as last year. The first part is a mix of straights and junctions across the road of varying width. From 3 kilometers to 8 kilometers, the stage becomes technical, slow and rough on a very narrow road climbing uphill. At 8 kilometers, it begins descending, remaining a very rough and twisty until the 11 kilometer mark, after which it becomes faster and the road widens. With the rest of the stage similar in character of the opening section, Thierry Neuville broke his suspension here whilst leading the rally in 2021. Then the next stage is the geothermal. The stage begins on a bumpy and a narrow road before turning onto a wider and smoother section. Very rough patches appear at around 4 kilometers, with the road becoming rougher and narrower again at 5 kilometers for just under a kilometer before smoothening out once more. At 7 kilometers, the stage joins a wide and smooth road with many campered corners. The section is more reminiscent of Rally Mexico or the Acropolis Rally than the traditional safari. Kedong happens to our next stage, run with a new section at the start which is very rough in places, featuring many rocky sections as well as dips and bumps. In total, around half of the stage is new for this year and includes a mix of high-speed sections or narrow tracks connected by junction. It also features the iconic Mbili jump where cars launch high into the air and often land sideways. So Isambu is the next stage, run in reverse and in similar configuration in the 2024 edition. A previous rocky and rough section that has been removed, the stage features a mix of long, high-speed sections with straights and junctions in open terrain alongside narrow and rough roads, constantly alternating between the two. The final 1.5 kilometers is a run on a technical and slow road after a long straight of at 22 kilometers, featuring long, slow corners and popular spectator area. In 2024, Greg Master broke the suspension of his Puma Rally 1 on the stage, while in 2022, Greensmith rolled out the rally here. Elementaita is the next stage, run in the opposite direction of last year and featuring several new sections with fresh plowed roads near the finish. The stage begins in open terrain with high-speed sections on narrow roads, with grass growing in the middle and plenty of bumps. After a junction at 10 km, the stage becomes smoother as it runs alongside Lake Elementaita, before turning rough and technical again through a forest section at 12 kilometers. After exiting the forest, the stage returns with a mix of fast sections and junctions on slightly wider roads with many dips and bumps. Sleeping Warrior, the next stage. Perhaps the most anticipated stage of the event, Sleeping Warrior is one of the most iconic tests of the modern safari rally in Kenya. The stage takes its name from the mountain the route passes around, which resembles a Maasai warrior lying on his back. Compared to 2025, the stage has had some sections near the start removed, while the rough finish has also been omitted. The new start features a long straight before joining the last year's route. Two more long straights follow before a junction leads crews onto a rougher section. At 8 kilometers, there's a very fast but rough section through the forest with many dips and bumps. After a hairpin at 12 kilometers, the stage returns to open roads, with the final section generally fast and flowing. Unpredictable weather conditions are common, with the rain causing major drama in previous editions. Oserengoni is the next stage. The opening 2 kilometers run on a very narrow, bumpy and technical road through forest. The stage then exists via a junction onto a faster road outside the forest. A massive straight begins at 4 kilometers and lasts almost 2 kilometers before the cars turn out on a slow and technical section on a narrow road. The stage becomes faster again at 12 kilometers before ending after a rough section and another straight. Just to remind you that this episode is brought to you by playmaster.co.ke. Don't forget to use our USSD, that's *265#. Hell's Gate happens to be the last stage that takes place on Sunday. This stage runs entirely on a medium width road and one of the most fastest of the rally. The section from 5 to 7 kilometers can be partially tricky as large rocks have previously been pulled onto the racing line. The final kilometers are run out on an open road with a tricky junction just before the finish. Takamoto Katsuka rolled here in 2025. With unpredictable weather, rock tracks, and massive crowds of passionate Kenyan fans, finish the rally can just be as impressive as winning it. What makes the Safari Rally unique is its raw, unforgiving terrain. Drivers must deal with dust, mud, rocks, and even wildlife crossing the road. It's a race where speed matters, but survival matters even more. The rally attracts the world's best drivers and teams. Champions and rising stars battle it out powerfully. Rally 1 machines from teams like Toyota Gazoo Racing and Hyundai Motorsport. With legends and young talents pushing their limits, every stage can change the outcome. For fans, the Safari Rally is more than just a race. It's a festival of speed, culture and adventure, set against the breathtaking landscapes of Kenya. From roaring engines to dusty trails across the Rift Valley, the Safari Rally remains to be one of the most iconic motorsport events on earth. And this year, the battle promises to even be bigger. Welcome to the Safari Rally Kenya 2026 that takes part from March 12th to March 15th. See you then in Naivasha.